welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting for the Rochester Downtown Development Authority for Wednesday, September 17, 2025. May I have Recording Secretary the roll, please.
Roger Knapp,
Yes.
Eric Diana, Tanya Karsten. Here. Lisa Germani Williams.
Here.
Bob Bloomingdale.
Here.
Bob DiTomaso.
Here.
Missy Plez.
Here.
Tony LaPuma.
Here.
Paul Haig. Mayor Salvia.
Here.
Chairman Giovanelli.
Here.
Marilyn Trent. Don Sinkowitz.
Here.
Christy Trevorrow.
Here.
There is a quorum.
Fantastic. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for making time for us this evening. Echo working here, so I'll move that up a little bit. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the meeting from July 16, 2025. We were not here in August because of not much to talk about. So any questions with respect to the minutes from July 16, or is there a motion in our future?
Motion to approve the meetings of July 16th.
Motion by DiTomaso to approve the minutes from the July meeting.
I'll second.
All right. Second by Bloomingdale. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Audience comments. Seeing none, we shall march forward. Well, I shouldn't say none. I mean, the two most important people in Rochester are in the audience. That's fine. Liaison reports. City Council Marilyn Trent is not here. Madam Mayor,
I'll give a few updates. Yeah, we had an update from our library liaison. This was a September 8th meeting. Lauren Coleman gave us some updates on all of the new and additional services we're going to get from the library. We approved the 2025 Kris Kringle Market, so that is awesome. We had a public hearing and moved forward for first reading and introduction to add to a section of South Street, which is zoned industrial, as a accessory use for retail. So that has moved for first reading and introduction, and so it requires 25% of the space maximum that could be retail. So, and it has to go before Planning Commission to get approved. If a business wants to do that. We discussed that our city clerk is retiring and the process that council is going to go through to hire a new city clerk. And then various reports from boards and commissions. City manager, anything else I should add? No? Okay, thank you.
Sweet. Yeah, I can't believe that Leanne's already retiring, man. She's like...
She is just the third city clerk in Rochester history. And she has served for 26 years.
Yeah, I mean, when I was on council, 2007 through 19, it could have been a better person to kind of, tuck you in and kind of teach you the ropes. And yeah, she's the best. So if anybody deserves, a great send off, let me know when the party happens. I want to make sure that we're there. But yeah, she's the best. So we're going to miss her terribly. Big shoes to fill for sure. Any other questions for the mayor? Seeing none, marching forward. Chamber of Commerce, Mr. DiTomaso.
So we have three things. The Sunrise Pinnacle Awards are being held on Friday, October 3rd. The Chamber will honor 13 of our community's companies, individuals for contributions to the community. On September 29th, they're going to kick off a new event called the Biz Bang Theory Boot Camp Series. So that is a program designed to help entrepreneurs and business owners with tools, knowledge, and the support they need to thrive in today's competitive marketplace. I think it's going to feature heavily training on how to network properly and how to take advantage of one-on-one meetings and getting your word out efficiently and succinctly, I think. And then lastly, the Rochester Area Hometown Christmas Parade. Participation forms are now available on the Chamber website. The 2025 Grand Marshal and Parade theme will be announced at the Sunrise Pinnacle Awards. And that does it.
Fantastic. Always a lot going on at the Chamber. Any questions for our liaison? Seeing none, continuing to march forward. Mr. Sinkowitz, Historical. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Just a recap, the Founders Day will be held on March 22nd, 2026. The Greater Rochester name, I'm not sure yet. The Old Heritage Days will be held on the weekend after Memorial Day, so that'll be May 30th and 31st. The American 250 project at Mount Avon will be on May 16th. That should be quite interesting presentation and display, so that's going on. Let's see, what else here? We added a new plaque on the Raymond James Associates on Walnut, so that's good. We also obtained or contracted a new contractor for the plaques. That's Franklin Bronze Plaques. Lynn was working on that for some time. Julie Johnson, excuse me, is working on a postcard that will distribute to all the new families that are moving into the Rochester area, and that'll explain the whole plaque process. The Rochester Historical Commission is reviewing the bylaws. The last time they did that was about 2013, so it's time to do that. Again, with the Heritage Days, we're looking at expanding some of the entertainment to include Saturday night. Normally during Heritage Days, we stop the entertainment in the band shell at about 6 p.m., 5 to 6 p.m. on Saturday and on Sunday. But with the bigger group, we'll be able to expand that. We're also recruiting some of the entertainment that was in the past, like the log rollers. And also we're going to invite Carol Ebo for a display, an encampment of indigenous people. So that should be fun. And the last one is, of course, there is planned for a traveling display by DAR. Now, I suggested that display be presented at the Graham, but apparently I don't think the Graham will be ready, but it's going to be at the library at this point.
Yep.
So, and that should do it.
All right, fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for our liaison? Thank you for your report. Marching forward, Mr. Hague is not here for Principal Shopping District. Madam Director, would you care to freestyle?
PSD did not meet in September.
Okay, very good. That was an easy report. Thank you so much for that. All right, general business, market Graham update. So just as Mr. Sinkwin's teed me up.
Here we go.
So let me get after it here. I'm gonna come over here because I can do some clicking. Whenever I sit over there and click over here, I always lose connection, so it doesn't work out so well. All right, so just sort of a level set. So the last time we chatted, I gave you guys an update and told you we're having issues with the soil over there. And I was learning more about helical piers and rigid inclusions that I cared to even know about. So, in a nutshell, to kind of restate for everybody to kind of level set. So the original structure, and I'll walk you through it in a second. I got some pictures that shows sort of version 2, and then kind of what our suggestion to go forward is. I'm looking for some feedback from you guys on is. The original building was taking the existing structure at 265 East 2nd Street and then tacking on a giant stage to the front of it, joining the two pieces together. Beautiful concept. Everybody saw it. It was great. Typically in those kind of situations, we weren't building the Taj Mahal. We weren't building a 6-story structure. It wasn't the 3rd tower of the Royal Park. It was just, a stage and with people dancing. I didn't think we would be landing 747s on it, but whatever. As a matter of process, typically, and I made sure that I talked to our attorney on it, and I kind of went back through history to make sure I didn't miss anything, which we didn't. In these type of transactions, you would never do like deep soil boring on a situation unless you were going to put a 6-story, whatever in place. It's not typical. So anyway, long story short is we had a seal, I think it was a seal, or somebody had suggested that we dust off the study that we did on the other side for version 1.0, back, a couple of years ago, and have some soil borings done to make sure everything is square or everything is okay because of the sort of the history of the area. It's not the greatest. Our forefathers were not the best stewards of the environment, as it were. So we found out more. So, of course, did some soil borings. They came back, and it was like, it's like organic, 19 feet down. You guys got to do a bunch of, rigid inclusions and helical piers and all this other stuff. And we had budgeted, in the whole budget, we had budgeted about $250,000 for earthwork, and this find was going to add another $500, $600, $700 grand to that. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. This dirt is hexing me. We just, whatever. So I said, all right, well, let's get a second opinion. And I think we talked about the second opinion last time I was here. I said, all right, let's spend a few shekels, get a second opinion, and make sure that we're not over-engineering this thing. I told the experts that, hey, look, the heaviest load we're gonna have on here is, probably 15, 20 people dancing on the stage. It's not like we're gonna be, landing, C-130 transports and, doing all this stuff. But the way they explained it to me is the concern is the building shifting, because there's different change in elevation there. And then once you firmly lock down the new part of it, which is what we were talking about, all of a sudden the part that's there is gonna be sort of moving with it. So it was just, it was sort of a cascading, issue that they needed to get sorted. So anyway, long story short, had a second opinion, came back pretty much with the same result. So the subcommittee, we've been working really, really hard on this. We all have way more hours on this than we care to. Tony and Bob, you guys, right? I can't thank you guys enough for that. But we spent a ton of time trying to figure out, all right, well, this is not gonna work. This is way over budget. This wasn't in our budget. Let's step back for a second, and Bob wisely said, let's just stop back for a second and take a look and see what the different pieces are that we promised to deliver and see if we can figure out a way to make that still work. So, we did that. We engaged the architect and said, hey, look, let's break this elephant into smaller bites, figure out ways we can still do everything that we promised, but not disturb the dirt or disturb it as least as possible. So what we ended up with was,
The first one's V2.
yeah, okay, so I asked the architect, we just had another meeting this morning, so I asked the architect to, do the, let's see here. So let me go to the original one. Well, I've already let the cat out of the bag, so let's go. All right, so we'll get to it in a second, but this is the new proposed facade for what I'm referring affectionately to as version 3.0. The building, I'm trying to keep us from out of the dirt, because if you remember, it's about a 5-foot elevation change from this parking lot up into the farmer's lot. And then the design team's affectionately referring to it as the moat, but there's a patch of dirt about 9 feet wide that's between the existing building and that goes up into the parking lot. So when they did the fill for the parking lot is what caused all these issues, because most of the issues we found with respect to the soil being not conducive to load carrying is the fill they used to do the parking lot. So of the soil borings, most of them were in the parking lot. So from us knowing, there's no way we would even know to ask that question. But, now we have unlawful carnal knowledge, so we know what's in there, and it's apparently whatever they found to put in the hole, they put in the hole. So, so anyway, we've broken the elephant up into smaller bites. So this is the new Graham, and I'm gonna run really quick sort of through what we're talking about doing. I wanna do pictures first because they're better. So we've broken up, and I'll just use the mouse. So this is the existing building. Absolutely nothing is changing, right? Except we're putting in this facade on here, and I'll show you the inspiration for that, unless you guys can already figure out where we got the inspiration for that, but it happens to be the exact facade of the shed at the Eastern Market, and even down to the thing in the middle there. This awning, this structure on the side, if you recall, was already there with the roll-up doors going all the way down. But instead of putting the addition on the back, we've now moved the bathrooms off to the side. I'm affectionately referring to that as the DDA double wide. We're basically attaching a double wide trailer. It's attached, but it's about the size of a double wide. But that'll be the bathrooms. And then we're going to have the structure not be tied together, because that was the cause of all of our problems with respect to engineering the soil. So rather than having it all one piece, if you remember, the stage came all the way out to here, and we were taking about 8, 10, 11 parking spots, something like that. I'd have to go back and look, but now we're not taking any parking spots in the farmer's lot, which I think should make some folks happy. So we're keeping the existing building the same, and then putting a pavilion, we're calling it a performance pavilion, and then on the end down here, an office / storage area for the EBT folks, information booth, and we'll get to there in a second, but that's sort of the thought process. And then just so you remember the walk down memory lane, this is version 2.0. We had a pretty big deal here, and then the stage was off to the back, and we had doors in this awning deal running along the entire side of the building. So now it's about half of it. We're only doing 2 doors, I think it was, and then it'll be the bathrooms. Just another look at that, I think it's basically.
I think she did like then and nows.
Oh, I
kind of
got you, I got you. All right, so this is version 2.0, so this is what we,
Yeah.
last time we talked about, and how about now? So, so essentially the same, just not as many doors, just, I think 2 or 3 roll-up doors, I think only 2 roll-up doors, I don't know. And then here's the bathrooms here, we'll get to that in a second. The front facade, essentially the same, although this structure is smaller, and then we're just doing this brick, it's faux brick, face brick, whatever you call it, proposed on the front there. This was the side originally, or the last version 2.0. And then this is as of now. So you can see we've added, the math, I think they said, is that we're gonna be taking up 8 parking spots in this lot now. So the net change is 0, or what we were gonna take up in the farmer's market, we're now gonna take in this lot, in theory. And we'll get through the schedule in a second. This is all just sort of idea, propose, whatever, but you can see, here's the bathrooms, and then they've got this, sort of patio area here, and the parking would start, you know, sort of right after that. These would all be handicap spots. And the bank is over on, the left-hand side there. The cement structure is pretty much the same. This area over here between the buildings now is the moat. I just told them, just leave it, we'll figure out, actually, I'm gonna get with Maryland's crew and see if there's a way we can do some native plants in there and that sort of thing. So there'll be some fun opportunities to activate that space, but for now, we're just gonna leave it, we're not gonna do anything, because I don't wanna disturb that dirt. Although we're gonna have to redo this retaining wall, which there is one there now.
It's wood, it's not in great shape, but I think what they're concerned about is that now that we're not connecting the two, that when we start moving things over here, it's gonna disturb all that and the
Right.
wood is not gonna hold.
Right, so the moral of the story here is we've not totally avoided all of our helical piers and rigid inclusions work, but it's significantly less. Like, I think we're only looking at about 1/3 of what we were looking at before. So that's the sort of the working theory at this point. This was the addition in the whole stage area in version 2.0, and then this is now. So in effect, it's just, you know, pavilion-type structures with this office deal right over here. It's one single office and then a storage room for all the farmer's market materials. And then this is, she just put it in sort of a wood, like a barn wood type thing with the graham on it. It could be whatever, but that's on the existing building, I think. And there's another look at it, and here's the
I think
bathrooms.
that's actually stretching between piers in the pavilion.
Yeah, it's on the pavilion.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha, yeah. And then on terms of the, so this was the Second Street, Water Street side in version 2.0. And then this is it now. So you can see, we had this giant attachment going on in the building here, and all this earthwork now gone. It's just gonna be the existing building, we're not disturbing any of that. And then you're gonna have this sort of build out here for the new pavilion / office deal, right? So, so that is kind of what our thought is at the moment. Just wanted to kind of give you guys that. Let's see if I get some additional detail here. So I think let's walk through this. So, so this is the schematic. I don't know if you remember, but last time if you were to look at this in version 2.0, the building actually came all the way out here, where she's got added parking lot space. We had actually gotten approval to take all that, well, we own the lot, but we had to go and get approval for that. Now we don't need it. So all of those spaces will remain, so that'll make folks, I think, happy. The performance pavilion, I think we are taking like 3 or 4 spots, but most of that is in the existing sort of dirt. So I think it's a much more elegant solution to the issue. We will not be getting into the dirt and dealing with, you know, the helical pier issue that we had before. And then in terms of schematic, here's the bathrooms. It's about a 968 square foot addition. It's grade level. There will be, of course, some, you know, they'll have to do some supports, but that's in an existing parking lot. This is the existing building. It's been there for 50-plus years and hasn't gone anywhere, so I don't think, you know, tacking on a double wide to the side of it's gonna cause us much angst. That's my working theory. Fingers crossed, we'll see. I'm sure some expert will come back and say that we've missed something. It seems like that's a cottage industry. And then this is the pavilion, and then the office. It's about a 310 square foot office. It's an office and then a storage room. So on the inside of the building, nothing really is changing from what you guys saw before, although I've asked them, now that we're not having to heat and cool that giant thing, we're gonna put air in here. And then they need to add back, I don't know if you remember, but it used to have a mezzanine in there for utilities for like the furnace and stuff like that. So I've asked them to go ahead and re-put that in, and then underneath that, put in a kind of a kitchenette, sink, some cabinets,
Fridge.
you know, a fridge, a dishwasher, because there's stuff going on there that's gonna be needed. So there won't be like a stove, it's not gonna be a full kitchen, but kind of like maybe a break room at your office or something like that. So anyway, that's kind of the working theory at the moment. But the 6 doors, or the 4 doors, are now 2 on both sides. And then the parking here, like I said, we've given all of this parking back that we were taking, and then we're gonna gobble up some spots here. And then the cement work from the stairs over. The stairs are a little bit skinnier, the architect said, not much. And then, but everything else to the left of that, to the west of that is as it was that you guys saw before. The fire station's all white. Let's see what else. Yeah, we already saw all these. So that's kind of the update. So nothing is free. Oh, here's, I wanted to show you this where we got our inspiration for that. So that's Easter Market. So what they did is they took the design. So we've got Graham 1817, which is the year that the Graham family came here. So that's
Year
been
Rochester was
incorporated.
founded. Yes.
Right, so that'll be incorporated in there. Hopefully it gets through. And then the arches, they put windows inside the arches. So what's the old saying about plagiarism is the ultimate form of flattery, right? So copying. So, but yeah, it's a timeless design, and we thought everybody would appreciate it. So, all right. So 2 things. All right. So, of course, this is not going to come free, and we were sort of joking that we needed to have a frequent flyer card and a punch card for the architect. But so this is all got. Well, let's do the calendar first. And this is, but I want to kind of walk you through the process where we're at. All right, so yesterday and today we got initial feedback from the design team whether and this is from an email, but I had a list of questions. Are we going to be in the same ballpark for what the original budget was? The thought is yes. Sean Rewald is out hunting bears with his dad and his brother right now, so they're back next week, so he's gonna put pen to paper and we'll get back on it. But the gut is just given the fact that we are removed all of the things that were causing our problems with respect to dirt. We're hopeful and optimistic that we'll be back on track, and I honestly think that we are. If not, you're just gonna see me jump off the roof and call it good. So tonight, was my intention to present to you guys to get your bounce, and if you guys are good with it and hopefully sign off on it, then we'll march forward. The next milestone after that, so between the 17th tonight and the 3rd, I need to get comfort that we're on the right track. My goal is to convene a special meeting on the 7th of October. If this number comes back and we're good, get you guys back in the room, go over all the nitty-gritty and make sure we're all on the same page. Yes, no, maybe so, and then assuming that that's approved on the 7th, on Monday the 13th, we'll go before City Council and report out version 3.0, what I basically just showed you, along with the numbers, because again, we think it's gonna work. I need another couple weeks to make sure the numbers box, but until then, fingers crossed. So we'll go before council. By the 31st, Nick needs the full planning commission package to get us on the docket for December planning commission, right? So we have to go back before planning. We've changed what was approved.
Everything.
Wait, we've changed, not everything, but a lot. We've dumbed it down a lot, and I think it's gonna work. I'm hopeful and optimistic, planning's good with it. They should be, because a lot of the stuff we were asking for as changes before no longer apply, and/or feedback that we got from planning in the process going through that has been incorporated here, like the bathrooms, for example. Augur made sure that we had the bathroom count, the number of stall count in there that planning wanted before. So hopefully that'll go good. Fingers crossed on that one. So we would go before planning on the 8th and hopefully get approval. On the 9th, let's put the hammer down and get after it. We do have to be done with this project by September 30th, 2026 from the county money.
Correct, or otherwise we default on $931,000.
Which we don't want to do. So, given the fact that we're not doing as much as this plan is a lot less ambitious, still delivering what we said we're going to deliver, but in terms of just sort of the amount of engineering required, this should go a lot better. So fingers crossed that should be done. I was sending everybody links to like prefab, structures and stuff. I'm like, this only costs 20 grand, let's go. So anyway, I just want you guys to know that the subcommittee's on it. We're trying to make sure that we stay on top of it. And that's it. So from our perspective, as we sit here right now, the new design direction minimizes the new construction footprint, and there's less geotechnical, as I said, in just talking today in our meeting with the architect and designer, it's a third or less of the geotech, which is the dirt work that we would have to do. So to that, just logically, as a human with a functioning brain, you have to say it has to be cheaper. If it's not, then like I said, it's gonna be jumping off the roof. It maintains all the original program requirements. Everything's being delivered. It's a much simpler design to build. And for whatever reason, from timing or whatever, it could be easily divided into 2 sensible phases. So I think this is an all-around win for us. We've been trying to sort of get through it, and nobody foresaw having dirt issues on this side until we did, right? So part of me wishes we didn't do the dirt sample, but here we are.
The only thing could be, if the planning commission decides they want a public hearing, it would take too much. You wouldn't be able to get your final dispensation until January.
Gotcha, okay, all right, so.
It's just a modification, so we're gonna try to do it in one meeting.
Okay.
At worst, they schedule it for 3 days.
Yeah, I mean.
Or
if
we
get-
schedule a special meeting.
So the instructions I've given the design team is we're marching forward parallel. I don't see this, I'm hopeful and optimistic that, I don't want anybody to stop what they're doing, right? So I want that, because they need to do, so they're gonna need, let's just get to this right now. So the upcharge is gonna be 76.5, was it?
75?
What the heck's it? Yeah, $76,500 additional services to redo all the drawings and get them ready for planning. So it's site plan approval, architectural, contract drawings, structural engineering, MEP, which is
Mechanical, electrical, plumbing.
mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, and then landscape. And we also need them for the bid pack too. So once this is done, then everything will go back out to bid. That should be a pretty quick process. I would say not a chunk, but a good portion of it we've already had bid out, so we got a pretty good feel for it. It's just this new stuff. So my ask this evening is that this is already in the budget, so it'll just sort of come out of the whole thing. But because it's an expenditure, I want to make sure that you guys give us approval to go ahead and do this. 76.5 versus $765,000 is a no-brainer to me, but I cannot make a motion as the chairman, so if anybody would like to make a motion, it's going to be a voice vote to authorizing the chairman or director to enter into an agreement with Augur, Klein & Eller for the additional services scope of work for the Graham version 3.0.
Not to exceed 76,500.
Not to exceed 76,500, correct. Anybody?
I make that motion.
Bob Bloomingdale. Any support for the motion? Support by Lisa Germani Williams. It is a expenditure of money, so there's a roll call vote. Madam Recording secretary.
Roger Knapp.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yes or no?
Tanya Carson.
Yes.
Lisa Germani Williams.
Yes.
Bob Bloomingdale.
Yes.
Bob DiTomaso.
Yes.
Missy Ples.
Yes.
Tony LaPuma. Mayor Salvia.
Yes.
Chairman Giovanelli.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, guys. All right, so I told Steve today, our architect, I want you to continue on and just hammer down, hammer down, hammer down. We got to get this all done. I would be shocked if there's any issues with it. If there's not, if there is, it's going to be little stuff that we're going to be able to overcome pretty quickly. The only thing that's going to be is, of course, they come back and say, "Oh, dude, you got to," I'm like, again, it'll be just
Jumping off the roof.
jumping off of roofs. So hopefully the meeting that we have on the 7th of October is not me telling you that I resign and I'm done. I can't take it anymore. I've had enough. Let me up. I don't expect that to be the case at all. And this project, that piece of dirt is not going to win. We are going to win. I'm telling you, that dirt is not going to win. I don't know what's there. We need to have some more sage burnings over in the parking lot or something else, but.
I know, I only saged the building. That was my
That
fault,
thing is
sorry.
It's just hexed, so whatever, but we're gonna get through it. So I guess, let me just kind of put it out to the board, any feedback that you guys have for your subcommittee on that, and any instructions that you'd like me to pass along, or any thoughts as to the design, or the thought, or the idea, or the direction that we're doing.
Design is beautiful. I think the design is great.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we did a nice
I
job.
had good vibes on. I think this one's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I really do.
third time's a charm.
And did you not before?
And, no,
Is there room for bocce in the moat?
yes, that's
Working
actually a
on
great
that, too.
idea. I do like that. We can
It's
wear
good.
like white jackets and smoke cigars and do bocce down there.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
That would be our consolation prize, Tony. We get the Italians down there doing bocce. It'll be great.
Because we still have the swings.
But
What's that? Roger, please.
What's the function of the pavilion? I mean, I know it's there, but what are you using that for?
So I think it's a couple different things. Obviously, the stage, that was going to be more for bigger acts and things like that. That is not necessarily going to be in our future, but I think we already have entertainment at our farmer's market. There's a lot of other events that we were looking at that we could do smaller things underneath there in terms of bands. But then also when it's not programmed, then it can be seating under there. We're going to have movable picnic tables, setups, that there'll be a nice shade structure as well. So I think it'll have dual purpose. We're not going to put vendors under it necessarily, so it would be specifically for entertainment or for seating at this point.
And then part of the requirement for the county was a gathering. The whole purpose of the grant was a central gathering spot, so that was kind of key to it. So we wanted to be mindful of not changing the plan so much that we pitched to the county and got approved, and that stage element was piece of it. So this way, we're getting a Cadillac Eldorado for the price of a Chevy Cavalier, if that makes sense, right? So that's the thought. So I don't know if that's your question or not, but it's part of the deal. Again, I was sort of teasing everybody. I tend to oversimplify everything, but I'm like Google. I'm like, dude, this thing is like a $20,000 prefab. Let's just go to Costco, and we'll order one up, and we'll just get a case of beer. We'll put it together. It'll be great. But they're out there. They're not a ton of money, so I'm hopeful and optimistic that it's just going to be a very cost-effective solution to the big problem that we had with respect to the dirt. Madam Mayor.
Yeah, so I love all the design elements. I love that we've kept everything. I think my question is kind of where Roger was going, is when I look at that space, I kind of expect it to have more height. I expect it to be more of a stage. And so is that, it's now going to be a gathering space? So do I need to like reimagine what that space is, or?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, to me, it's still a stage. It's a pavilion structure. It's gonna have,
How
electric
tall is that?
lighting.
Is that 10 feet, 12 feet?
What did she say, 12?
Do you guys remember how tall that was?
I don't.
It could be as tall as we want.
Individuals there, it's at least 10 feet tall.
Yeah, I mean, it could be as tall or as short as we want. Money will do everything. But the idea there is that underneath it will be, stage lighting or, good low voltage lighting, maybe some ceiling fans, that kind of thing. It's clearly grade level, so you can do a ton there, and it's out of the elements. It'd be a great place to, ring in Christmas with Santa, with the mayor. Mr. and Mrs. Claus under there, so that kind of stuff, right? And doing it all year round. In fact, and now that I'm thinking of it, and you're gonna make a note of it, but we'll probably try and get some sonotubes in there, see if we can get Solaronics to donate those for us, but the.
What's a sonotube?
Sonotube is the,
Like at Tony's,
The heat lamps.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's at Tony's.
yeah, so we'll get, we'll hit up the Rushes to see if they
Yeah.
wanna make a charitable donation to us. But that kind of thought process, right? So it's still the stage element, we're still delivering we're essentially delivering what we promised the county when we pitched this in the beginning. But it's at a much more cost-effective, solution, and it's not gonna require, half to $750,000 worth of dirt work, so, yes, sir.
I wanted to say too, that a large part of the additional expense was that elevated concrete slab. So that was,
Okay.
that was a big reason
Yeah,
for the
take it
cost,
out.
was to pull
Take
that
it out.
slab up.
I mean, I hate to say it is what it is, but it kind of is what it is, so we just have to work with the dirt that we've got there. I think at the end of the day, we're gonna be able to nail 90% of it. The thought process is the bathrooms are going to be open to the public all the time, or whatever hours council sets. We'll have to probably have some discussions with respect to, humans not being great. So I don't know what that looks like, but we'll deal with that as time goes on. But the idea is that the access to the Graham building itself would be locked when the space is not activated, but the bathrooms would still be remaining open.
It's important.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, that was something we had promised when we did this. So
Yeah.
again, I think that on balance, we've 90%. It's a lot more simpler, a lot more elegant. Would it have been great to have that giant stage staring at you in the face when you turn it? Yeah, of course. But we have to live within our means, and I think this accomplishes that. And it's a great compromise. So that's just.
I think it's a strong pivot from where, the challenges, plus, if we put the picnic tables under here, it'll probably get more use than the stage would have gotten.
That's actually a
Yeah.
great point. We did talk about that, and that was, the shade structures were a big deal for especially a lot of
Yes.
council members and
Yeah.
others,
Yes,
so.
we love shade.
We do
So
love
this,
shade.
between this
one
and
of
the, there's a little
Side.
better picture of it, so you can get a feel for it. But, let me go back to come on now.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I might have missed this when I stepped out for a second. Where are the outdoor doors to the bathrooms?
So this right here is the outdoor, access to the bathroom. We can go to here. I don't know if I can make this bigger or not. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to get your, Hubble Space Telescope out, but,
The
so what
plus
is it?
sign, the plus sign up top by the numbers to the left, left.
My
plus.
other left?
That,
Gotcha. All right, oh, there we go, okay, hold on, stand by. Come on now. Okay, so here's the bathroom. The way it works is that there is a entrance here from the outside, and then an entrance here from the Graham. That would be the locking door to the Graham. 2 rooms here would be sort of a, janitor's closet, storage, blah, blah, blah. So you'll walk into a lobby, there'll be a family bathroom on the end, and then a women and men's room there. I asked the architect, as we're going through the MEP stuff, that, I've got the Amish built me a 48 by 60 pole barn with 21-foot ceilings, and I've got mini split air conditioning units, 36,000 BTU, that you can hang beef inside the barn in July. So they work great, and they're very cost effective. So I've challenged them to come back with, finding ways to heat and cool the space, knowing that this is gonna be a 4 seasons room that is heated and air conditioned, but also at the most cost effective, way. I know we have to deal with rules on air handling because it's a public space and all that good stuff, but, we're not gonna be going out there and turning this into a walk-in freezer. It's gonna be, a responsible solution. But long answer to your short question is lobby. As soon as you walk through the lobby, you get your choice of men's, women's, or family. And then again, we'll probably have to deal with some security type stuff inside there because,
I'm glad the door is to the side and not where
Yeah,
the
so-
stage is.
Yeah,
You don't
so
want
if
people
you-
walking in.
Correct, so, hey, sorry.
While
If
you're
it's
giving
on.
a present, or whatever you're doing, you don't want people walking in.
Yeah, so here it is right here. So this will be the entrance to the restroom. It'll be clearly marked. You'll walk inside here, and then that'll be the lobby area, and then you'll have ladies, men's, and then the family in the middle. And then on this side, these two windows would be storage rooms. So this would be the entrance to the public restrooms. And it's in a spot that's not parking. We may do some stuff to make sure that it's clearly delineated, that people aren't supposed to go up there and do, burnouts and whatever else that people are gonna do, so.
One drawing showed it was actually elevated
Elevated.
some,
No, it's grade level.
It looked elevated.
it looks elevated in the one drawing anyway,
Everything's at grade.
It's at grade, we're not doing no elevations.
right
Nope.
there.
Well, that's the curve, that's there now.
Look at the end.
Yeah, over there to the left.
I think that's an optical illusion.
It's a
I
shadow.
think that's a shadow. I think that is a transition between the parking lot. I was told that this was gonna be great. Now, it's entirely possible that is raised up. I don't know. I'll put a
I
pin
don't
in that and I'll
think it
come back
is.
and let you know. If it is, it's 4 inches
4
of
inches.
concrete, it's
Yeah,
not
but I
gonna be a
can't
ton.
imagine.
But again, we have to be mindful, and I told the architects, we have to be mindful of stupid human tricks, so we'll make sure that we do our best to, although somebody will always figure something out that we haven't thought of, but whatever. Yes, sir.
And on the initial design, the group did an excellent job of presenting it to the public. And now that there's slight changes, do you think that this is going to have to be presented to the public?
I'm happy to do that, sure. We can have an open house, yeah, for sure. We can absolutely do that and build some momentum, I don't know, but we're gonna have it at council, it'll be televised, so between this meeting and council, I think we should at least get most of
Could
the
we
word out.
set it as like a public hearing at city council? Like, could we public
No,
notice
you
it?
said
No?
that Planning commission, that's who's gonna make the final decision.
Yeah,
Council's making a money decision,
Yep.
not a site plan decision. We'll set a public hearing, but if we can do it in advance, it's tricky, because if you don't have an answer at least 35 days before the December meeting, then I can't set a public hearing.
right.
If we say, show it to planning commission, then they set a public hearing that night, then we'll have the 30-day notice, and then we can come and see
Yeah.
it. So then everybody would see it at that public hearing, because that's their job.
Yeah, and we're trying to avoid having an additional public hearing at planning because of timing, because that'll add another month to it. So if planning deems that our changes here are not substantial enough to redo a public hearing, then there probably wouldn't be. I would still, you guys know me, I'm like Captain Transparency, so whatever, you want me to do, I'm happy to do. We can have some, well, I don't think community house, but we'll find some place to have it at.
It's
But
supposed to be a public hearing.
yeah, I'm happy to do whatever, but between, this venue, city council, and planning, all three of those are televised, so that would be, would be the same dog and pony show all 3 times. So we'll get the word out, and, anybody that has any questions, everybody's got my cell phone number, so they know how to get ahold of me.
Just a random thought, what about if we have some posters at the market? The farmer's market is still happening. What if we use that to get some input?
I'm gonna drag my feet until I get some numbers.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, you're
I
right.
love all you guys, but I've been down to this rodeo once or
We've teased
twice.
everybody too much, I get it.
Yeah, so let's get, this is the transparency, this is the public, disclosure of what your tax dollars have been spent, what our intention is. We're trying to be the best stewards we possibly can with the budget that was allotted to us. Honestly, we've already had an approval at that dollar amount, and it's already in the budget, so to the extent that it exceeds it, I sort of view as sort of the next bite at the apple. But I did promise council that we would come back and go through all of it, and I 100% intend on doing that. But just sort of, this is already sort of there. Now, if I came back and said it's gonna be, a $4 million venture, you guys would have chased me out of the building, and that would have been, right? So, but again, I think this is a great compromise. It gets us 90% of the way there. Honestly, I think it's gonna be a lot less maintenance to deal with because it's the existing building. We're just putting new siding and windows on the existing, yeah.
And I feel like that this side of it is very impressive.
Sure.
So I feel like people, when they see that, maybe there's a few changes, but I think it looks nicer,
Yeah.
kind of, than
Yeah.
it did before. I like it. And I think the side with the stage area, we're seeing a drawing too. When you
Yeah,
put
sure.
lighting in there, when you put, the plants, whatever
Yep.
you're gonna do with it,
Yep.
it's gonna make it, a lot more attractive too than kind of what we're seeing in the drawing.
Oktoberfest is gonna be off the hook, Missy.
Well, next year.
Next year, for sure. Yeah, not this year, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. It's just conceptual at this point, but, excuse me, it's a public body, and we're spending public tax dollars, and we want to be, responsible stewards of that and let you guys know what the heck's going on, so. I come in with bad news, so my thing with council is, all right, so, we're gonna give options. We can do option A, we can do the plan as approved. It's gonna be a $4 million venture. Do you want us to do that? We don't have the money for it now. We're gonna have to break that elephant up into much smaller bites. We can do this, which is, I personally, again, no numbers, asterisks all over the place, but I would be shocked if we can't do this for the money that we've already got approved. That said, so this would be sort of door number 2. Door number 3 would be like, the council just says, we're tired of it, we're done with it, why don't you guys just sell the building? And I think that would be a terrible way to go, but that's also, of course, on the table, right? So, I'm hopeful and optimistic that everybody will be as excited as we are with this sort of version 3.0. When we got the new architect on the team, her name's Abby, and she just nailed it.
Yeah.
Christy's like, oh my God. Well, I mean, she says, oh my God, all the time, but this is like a real, oh my God.
I was really excited.
Yeah, so I think this is great. So any other questions? Are we on the right track? You guys good with things?
Yeah, I think this is
I'm excited, I'm
a
very
huge
excited.
save.
All right, very good. Mr. Manager, did I neglect any kind of important information that's gonna make us look terrible or make me go to jail?
We can't have that.
Well, I always want to get out of jail free cards from the city manager. It's always good. All right, so anyway, that's that.
TBT out.
Yeah.
And as stuff comes up, of course, I'll keep you guys posted. Okay, next up, I asked the manager, or the mayor, to give us a recap of the State of the City address that she gave on Monday. So with that, Madam Mayor, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, the State of the City was Monday night. It was held at the Community House. The video from it will be posted on the city website probably sometime late Friday, maybe early next week. They had to do some editing and things like that, but that will be available. The theme was, I love Rochester, because that's what we hear from everyone, residents and businesses. I love Rochester. Rochester is safe, secure, fiscally responsible. We had video snippets from residents and business owners talking about why they love Rochester. We recognized some local businesses. It was a standing room only crowd. And at the end of the evening, we introduced something exciting. It's called the Scent of Rochester. So Kelly Jones, a local woman, owns an incredible fragrance company. She has done designer scents for Ferrari, Justin Timberlake, and now the city of Rochester. So we got to give our input on our scent memories and vote on different scents. And so we will be developing this custom scent that could be used in buildings. Could be the Graham, could be Community House, could be other businesses in town, or people could use it in their home. So next we'll be working on product development. So very exciting. And again, the video will be available online.
Fantastic. And I'm sorry I missed it. I had some family issues that I had to get through, but I heard it was fantastic and you did a killer job. So thank you for all you do for the community. We really appreciate your hard work effort. My wife, Julie's like, where does Nancy get all her energy at? She's crazy. So,
I am.
Yeah, but we thank you for that for sure. So any questions for the mayor with respect to the state of the city? All right, fantastic. Moving forward, annual business development meeting, Paul Haig, who is not here.
Yes, I'm pinch hitting for Mr. Hague. He had a hair surgery earlier in the week and thought he would
that's
make
right.
it here. And when he called me and shared that with me, I said, no. So, so I'm pinch hitting for him. So he just wanted me to extend to you. This is our annual meeting that we do where Nick puts together an amazing presentation of everything that's happening in the area. We try to put it into a PowerPoint, and then he just skips around however he darn well pleases, and it's super fun for everybody except me. So this year, it's Monday, September 29th. It is at the Chief Financial Credit Union on Main Street. It's in their community room, and it'll be from 6 to 8. We'll have light dinner, And then the Nick and Christie show shall begin. It's a fun time for everybody. So Nick will go through all the developments in and around the area, both residential and commercial. And then we always have a special feature, and this time we're throwing it to the PSD. They're doing the reinvention of Fire and Ice. We've talked about it a lot of places, but we haven't officially done the big launch, so that'll be the kickoff for that, and then we'll start putting things out to the community about Fire and Ice making its triumphant return to Rochester. Registration for that closes Friday. It's free to attend, so if you haven't already registered, let me know tonight or shoot me an email tomorrow, and I'll make sure you're on the list. But we already have about 60 people coming. It's usually pretty popular. So, and this is when I would say we probably get more property owners than business owners, but it's a nice mix of people that attend, so if you're interested, let me know.
Is that recorded or,
No,
okay.
because Nick uses language, so we can't.
Okay. Any other questions for the director on the biz dev? Thank you. Moving forward, local art community survey results, Madam Director.
So I was putting this together, and then I thought it might be nicer if I just did it like this, so it'll just be easier. So, let me see if I can get this. There we go. So we, as you well know, we've been talking about since goals and objectives that we really wanted to dial in on art in our community and talking about our end goal is to create a short, mid, and long-term range master art plan for not just downtown, but for the city of Rochester. So one of those parts is community input, and so we promised that we were gonna do some in-person surveys this year, and we did them this summer. So we tried to make it kind of fun and quirky. So we had make your mark, get a duck for your spark. So you can see some little ducks up there. These are not your basic ducks, these are some good ducks. So the idea to entice people over is that we had a quick survey. It was called, as I think you guys have heard me talk about this before, Dotmocracy. So we give people 6 dots, 3 for each board, and we had 2 questions, and then they get to put their dots on what their answers are. And then we tabulate all that together. And then they got to pick a duck for their time. So we surveyed in 2 places. We did one at the Makers Market, and then we did one at the Farmers Market. So we thought 2 different things because Makers Market pulls from people within the community, but also outside the community. Farmers Market's a little bit more locally centric. And as you can see with all those dots, overall is that everybody wants art. I could end here, but of course I have details, so here we go. So who did we survey? When we had people doing the survey for the questions, we also did a demographic as well, just to find out where they were coming from. Majority of participants, both at Makers Market and at Farmers Market, were from Rochester, Rochester Hills, Oakland Township, Shelby Township. These are sort of our usual suspects, if you will, of our trade area, the people that we typically see in the majority attending our different events downtown. Honorable mentions, I would say this is our next tier beyond that, Sterling Heights, Troy, Clarkston, and Macomb Township. We always pull really hard from the east. We get a lot of people from Macomb County at all of our events, and that's something that we've always looked into of how we can continue to cultivate those relationships. But people came from a little bit of all over. We did also have some people from out of town. We had some people from Utah, some people from Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Florida, and my personal favorite, some people were visiting here from France. So, yes. So I gave them a duck too, so what the heck. So the results. We asked 2 questions. The first one is, what types of art would you like to see in Rochester? And we gave them 6 options. And so these are listed in what had the most votes. So number 1, people wanted to see crosswalk art. They think that's something fun, the crosswalk art out in the open. Number 2, murals. They acknowledge that we do have murals, but they certainly would like to see more. 3 is interactive, so art that is taking place that you might be able to take part in, things like that, or art that is happening around you. They loved that. Pop-up art, which is very much the magical mural tour that's happening right now. Some art that is here and then gone. Seasonal art installations like the sheep back in the day, the snowmen, and then 6, not just coming in last, not a lot of love for sculpture. And we have some nice sculpture in town, but apparently people aren't too excited to have more. So, lots of other things I'd like to see first. The second question is, how do you like to engage or experience art? Because we feel like, sir, do you like to look at it? Do you like to take part in it? So those are the questions. They had 6 options there as well. So number 1, they like to engage or experience art through events, which I think we kind of knew that, especially if you were at Art Naples that last weekend. Yes, a lot of people like to just be a part of the event. But number two, very close to art events, is people like to be creating the art. We haven't done much with this, other than, I mean, obviously the murals are created by a single artist, but we had a lot of amateur artists that would love to be a part of something bigger. So we thought that was really interesting, because of course, we took the opportunity to talk up everybody as they were taking the survey. Themed art installations, again, this goes back to, a lot of people mentioned public art things, the fiberglass, we've had the sheep and we've had snowmen, but that happens in a lot of other communities, so people interested in that. A lot of people like the contests and competitions, whether they're entering as an artist or they like to vote for their favorite things. So we thought that was also interesting. Art appreciation, they just like to enjoy it. They don't want to participate, they're not good at it, but they just want to be a part of it. And then art education, unfortunately, did not get a lot of votes. People don't really want to have education about their art, they just want to experience it. So that was that. So it's a 2-question survey with the dots, very easy, and that way it's a very low point of entry, because inevitably, when you say, hey, can you do a survey, people are always like, oh. But I have a duck and dots. It made it fun, so we got a lot of people going through it, so. So our next steps right now, so we did all of this in person, just like we did the surveys when we were trying to do the this or that for the pocket parks downtown. We're gonna take this and turn it into a online survey that we'll put through our social channels, including our Instagram, and get that broader appeal and that broader input. And then our winter project, after the lights are fully on their way, then we'll be starting to work on next steps with the short, medium, and long-term plans with the committee, so that we can start putting something together with our goal of spring being able to roll out our first draft for everybody to take a peek at. And that's what I got.
Fantastic.
Oops, oh, that was loud, okay.
Any questions for the director on art?
On art, yes.
Nice job as usual, and
Thank you.
thanks for taking point on that, we appreciate it.
Yep.
Lanyap Media Update, ooh.
So, as I told Ben, we have a media update and we don't. So, we had a media update. We have been approached by some, I would say, Detroit area media that want to have an elevated presence with us at Lanyap. And so I was going to be presenting that proposal to you tonight. However, in the meantime, another media outlet has stepped forward. And I have a meeting with them. I couldn't get anything scheduled before this meeting, so that'll be taking place on Friday. So I'll be bringing that forward at our next meeting to let you know. Or if we do the special meeting on the 7th, then maybe I might slide in there, because we might need to get a little jump on that. But I think with the 20th anniversary, it's attracted some attention, and I think that we'll have an interesting opportunity. So I wish I could share it with you yet, but I don't have the other proposal yet, so I don't want to let anything out of the bag here. So to be continued.
It's fair to say it's an expansion of prior efforts, so.
That is a fair assessment, yes.
Pretty good expansion.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yes.
So Hallmark is coming? and they're
I
filming.
I believe I said Detroit media.
Okay.
I didn't want to overstep my.
A couple of YouTubers,
Okay,
man.
all right, sorry.
All right, thank you for that. All right, receipt of regular reports, Executive Director update, Madam Director.
The only thing that I mentioned, it's already on my report, but if you haven't checked out the murals this year, the Magical Murals
They're
Tour, they're really awesome. Taylor had a great suggestion that we asked the artist to provide an artist statement, and then we created a whole online social campaign, and every day we're featuring, in order, all the different murals. And the comments, both on Love Local and our downtown Instagram and Facebook, have really been great. I'm really positive, people excited about it, people, oh, I walk by it on my daily walks and it makes my day. And it's just, if you think about it, all the artists donated their time. Our only cost in is the board, which Dillman gave us a discount on, and then the installation. That's it. And it's really, it's phenomenal. Sometimes it's just those simple things, as you always say, that just make such the difference.
Yep, for sure.
And next week, the contest opens online, so keep an eye out for that to vote for your favorite.
Love it. Events and marketing.
Included in your packet, so if you have any questions about that, we did start notifying people for Kris Kringle Market. We received, as she put in here, 175 applications, and we only have 67 spaces. So Taylor had a lot of fun sending emails and a lot of not fun sending emails last week, letting people know. But we were able to introduce, I think, some new exciting options for the community. I think you're really going to like what is going to be brought forward. It was already approved at council for the expansion around the corner, so we are still having that big footprint. So we're excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for us. And just one thing, it wasn't on mine, but I put this packet out before I got notification. Community House, we will have the full building for Festival of Trees.
Oh, good.
We had been kind of holding back on doing our heavy recruitment, but then next thing you know, I'm emailing Missy, I'm emailing Tularul, I'm like, we're in, come on. Let's go. So that's, tickets go on sale for that at the end of the month.
Yeah, I think they were having dirt issues too.
They are.
Yep. Something in,
Seems to be
yes.
something in the dirt around here. It's the blessing and the curse of being the first community in Oakland County, right? So,
Yes.
okay, financial report is in your packet. Any questions, feel free to reach out to the director or myself. Biz Dev?
Just one quick update, other than the annual meeting. We are now also going to be hosting a merchant workshop on Monday, October 20th. We'll be getting a note out to everybody shortly. I wanted the other one to close before I open another one, because then people sometimes think they're going to the wrong meeting. But actually, Anthony Maggio, our finance director, has become very adept at AI, and he had offered to donate his time to do an AI for small business seminar for us. So we're going to be hosting that on Monday, October 20th, from 6 to 8, over at the fire department. So we're pretty excited about that. And he said that, based on questions and what we hear, that he'd be willing to do a follow-up one that might be a little bit deeper dive on that. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, so thank you to Anthony for that. We're pretty excited.
Love it.
Perfect.
Oh, and Holiday Expo, thank you, Bob, November 10th. That sold out back in August.
Right.
So, but that'll be taking place at the hotel, 5 to 8. Come early if you want any snacks.
Got it, because it'll go
It's all-
quick.
Goes
The
fast.
vultures go through it quick.
My goodness,
Yeah, no doubt.
yes.
All right, fantastic. Anything for site?
Well, Christy and the fire chief and I, we did our annual walk in town. Town looks pretty good. Couple of minor things from the city side and the business owners, but town looks great. And then the site committee met it was a week ago or a couple weeks
Last
ago.
Thursday when we were calling Ben.
Yeah, last Thursday, and we're working on some of the things besides the gram, the lights, we're working closer with the bocce ball court. What else did we talk about? The gram kind of always seems to.
That always
get in-
seems to come in there. No, we talked about that. We talked about the light poles. I'm looking at Bob and Nick. What else did we hit?
Nick was there too.
Just the bocce thing and the string lights trying to dust up the alleys a little bit, so.
The town looks good, I mean, yeah, but we look at that, the bocce is the big thing on our thing, we're talking about right now.
Yeah, for
so.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, when we did goals and objectives, we made a promise to everybody that Graham, although it's the 900-pound elephant in the room, we're not going to lose sight of everything else we got to do, and we're going to continue to do that. So
Yeah.
thanks for taking point on that, Tony. We appreciate it.
I forgot one more for
Yes, ma'am.
marketing. I got the call today that backstage work on the light show begins next Wednesday. And then you'll start seeing them last week of the month,
Great.
1st of October. The
The
lights
most
are coming.
wonderful time of the year.
I may or may not have Christmas music on in my car.
You have that on 24/7, 365, so. All right, thank you for that. And just in closing, I wanted to thank the board for the kindness in sending flowers to my dad's funeral this last Saturday. So you guys rock. I appreciate it. It was a nice surprise, and thank you. It meant a lot. Any other parting words of wisdom for the Peanut Gallery? Seeing none, meeting is adjourned.